All right. Yesterday, the story came out that in Colorado, in the month of January, $14 million in legal marijuana sold to Colorado residents and I guess to non-residents in the state of Colorado. What, $2 million in taxes, $3 million in taxes. So one of the business interests going to get on board here in the state of Missouri. The man who's been pushing legalized cannabis here in Missouri for a while joins us. John Payne, good morning. Thanks for getting up early.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, so there's a bill in the Missouri House.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say?
Yeah, there's a bill that was introduced by Chris Kelly that was actually modeled mostly after one of our initiatives that we turned into the Secretary of State this year that would legalize and tax and regulate cannabis in a manner similar to alcohol, so basically along the lines of what Colorado is doing. And it received a hearing in the Crime Prevention and Public Safety Committee on Monday. And I think the hearing went really well. We had a number of witnesses, both from the medical side, law enforcement, people talking about the need for record expungement, all come in and testify in favor of the bill.
Yeah, that organization, LEAP, Law Enforcement, I forget what LEAP stands for, Against Prohibition.
Law Enforcement Against Prohibition.
Yeah, those guys have been well documented, and they're not shy about saying that we've been on the front lines of the war on drugs for years, and it's a total and utter failure. And so they go around testifying in certain places. Was there people who came and spoke against legalizing marijuana down there in the hearing?
Yeah, definitely. I think all said there was 10 people that spoke for the bill and 5 people that spoke against it.
What was the sense of some of the questions and reading of the tea leaves from some of the people who were sitting on the panel?
I would say that you mean from the legislators?
Yeah.
I would say that the consensus in the room seemed to be that they were, for the most part, against full legalization, but they seemed very open to medical marijuana, which having gone down there for a couple of years now, I can tell you that in and of itself is a huge shift because any discussion of any sort of reform was kind of radioactive last year. But now that people have really changed and started to say, yeah, I can understand that there's some medical benefits and we need to do something about that. So I really think that I don't think that this bill is going to pass this year, but I think there's a good chance that we can advance a medical marijuana bill. I think it'll still be tough to pass it, but I think it has a lot better shot than it did just last week.
Yeah, well, there's no question, John Payne from Show Me Cannabis, that the ground is shifting very rapidly when it comes to legalizing marijuana for medical uses and legalizing marijuana for recreational use.
Yeah, it's happening a lot more rapidly than I even ever would have expected, but I think people are looking at Colorado and pretty soon will be looking at Washington State as well and saying, they've gone where people have talked about going for years. They've actually legalized cannabis, and the ground has not. The sky has not fallen. Things seem to be going pretty well. Why not take that step ourselves?
Where are and were there business interests down testifying for this bill saying we're leaving money on the table and it's a great source of revenue for the state? Was there any conversation about that?
I was actually supposed to talk a little bit about the tax revenue, and I did. I talked about the amount of money that the expected size of the industry, and it's estimated around $1 billion a year for the state of Missouri. But we didn't have anyone, specifically from an industry come in and say, hey, I want to invest in this, and I'm interested in becoming part of that industry, although those people are definitely out there.
Right.
But that wasn't, no one signed up to speak specifically on that.
The story came out the other day. Martin Kilcoyne and John Carney talked about it. He had an interesting conversation with somebody from the Colorado Department of Transportation. There was a story that came out that said that in the DUI pullovers in Colorado, half of them are marijuana-based or driving under the influence of marijuana. And I heard that story, and everyone says, oh, my goodness, see how bad marijuana is not working. But all that told me was that the other half was alcohol-related. So no one, the first instance wasn't, oh, my goodness, ban alcohol. The first instance was ban, you shouldn't have legalized marijuana. It seems to me like we're treating these two different drugs completely differently.
Yeah, and one of the things and this is something that was discussed pretty heavily in the hearing, and I actually got one of the reps question me pretty hard on this subject. But one of the problems with looking at the DUI provision and looking at trying to say that all of those incidents are because of marijuana is that those are just people that had marijuana in their system, and as you know, marijuana can stay in your system for up to 30 days after someone's used it. So just because someone was pulled over and had cannabis in their system does not mean that they were actually under the influence of it at the time. And actually, traffic fatalities from people driving under the influence have actually declined in Colorado, as they've declined nationwide. But if there was really a problem that legalized marijuana was causing a dramatic increase in people driving under the influence, then you would actually be seeing an increase in traffic fatalities, but they're seeing the opposite in Colorado.
Yeah. A lot of people got elected in Missouri talking about freedom and government getting off of their backs and don't tread on me, and it's a freedom-loving country and I can be free to do anything I want. And then those people then turn around and then tell you can't get high in your house on a Saturday night. I find that somewhat a juxtaposition, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Republican. Really should get out of your lives, but there's a lot of contradiction within the Republican Party on this, I think, because people will say, "Oh, we need a smaller government. We need the government to spend less money." But sometimes when we propose a way to actually get the government out of people's lives, to quit arresting 20,000 people every year, quit spending $90 million ruining people's lives over a plant, all of a sudden you're a radical.
Yeah, that's a great point. John Payne, keep us informed on the bill. You're always welcome on the show, and we'll talk to you down the road. John Payne, head of Show Me Cannabis. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
You got it.